Fashion and religion have had a long and complex relationship throughout history. On one hand, religion has played a significant role in shaping fashion. From the traditional clothing worn by religious figures to the modest dress codes that some religions mandate for their followers. On the other hand, fashion has also had an impact on religion, particularly in the way that religious leaders present themselves and the clothing styles adopted by various religious institutions. One of the earliest examples of the intersection of fashion and religion can be seen in ancient Egypt. The Egyptians used clothing and accessories to signify social status and religious beliefs, with the pharaohs wearing ornate headdresses and jewelry to symbolize their divine status. Similarly, in ancient Greece and Rome, clothing was used to signify social status, with elaborate togas and other clothing items worn by the wealthy and powerful. In many religions, clothing plays an important role in ritual and worship. For example, in Hinduism, the color and style of clothing worn during worship varies depending on the deity being worshipped. In Sikhism, the turban is an important article of clothing worn by men as a symbol of faith and commitment to the community. In Judaism, Orthodox women wear wigs or cover their hair as a symbol of modesty. In Christianity, clothing has played a significant role throughout history, with certain clothing items being associated with specific religious orders or institutions. The habits worn by nuns and monks, for example, are iconic symbols of Catholicism, while the cassocks and collars worn by priests are instantly recognizable as symbols of the clergy. Similarly, the Pope's red shoes and skull cap are iconic fashion items that have become symbols of the Catholic Church. In Islam, modesty is an important tenet of faith, and clothing plays a significant role in reflecting this value. Muslim women are required to wear hijabs, which cover their hair and neck, while men are expected to dress modestly as well. In some Muslim countries, the abaya and burqa are also worn as a symbol of modesty and religious devotion. In recent years, fashion has increasingly influenced the way that religious leaders present themselves. For example, Pope Francis has been known to eschew the traditional red papal shoes in favor of simple black shoes, reflecting his focus on humility and simplicity. Similarly, some religious institutions have adopted modern clothing styles to appeal to younger generations and to stay relevant. However, the relationship between fashion and religion has not always been harmonious. In some cases, fashion has been seen as a threat to religious values and traditions. For example, the miniskirt and other revealing clothing styles that became popular in the 1960s and 1970s were seen as a challenge to traditional values, with some religious leaders denouncing them as immoral and inappropriate. Another way in which fashion and religion intersect is through the use of symbols and imagery. Religious symbols, such as the cross in Christianity, the star and crescent in Islam, or the menorah in Judaism, have often been incorporated into fashion items, from jewelry to clothing. These symbols not only reflect religious beliefs but also serve as a way for people to express their faith and cultural identity. Similarly, religious imagery has also had an impact on fashion, with depictions of religious figures and scenes appearing in everything from art to clothing. For example, the image of the Virgin Mary has been a popular motif in fashion, with designers incorporating her likeness into clothing and accessories. However, the use of religious imagery in fashion can also be controversial, with some religious groups feeling that it is disrespectful or inappropriate. Fashion has also played a role in shaping religious practices and traditions.